Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode at the Highland Reserve. Today's enclosure is not for a zoo species really. Part of the problem with making habitats for birds is their ability to fly. So you either need to build a bird cage, or you accept that they're free creatures and provide a safe environment for them to return to when they please. We are in Scotland, so there are lochs all about us. And that means that there are plenty of water birds, like ducks and geese and swans. Couple that to the large stockpile of animal feed that we keep on site, and the high number of guests who drop food all over my nice floors, and we're bound to get the attention of some of the native bird species. Today we are building a small pond area away from the guests, partly. Or at least, it's not an area that guests can walk through. I did initially plan to have a park type area that guests could access, but after what happened with the donkeys and that mess, I'm fully against letting guests into enclosures. This area will be set up as like a bird hostel, where wild ducks, geese, swans, maybe even the odd heron can come and pick at the food that's everywhere and stay safe for as long as they need. We'll also provide some food specifically for them and their natural diet so that they don't only eat the sugary leftovers from the guests. I wanted this area to feel like a little woodland glade. So far our enclosures are very deliberate, very constructed, which is exactly what I wanted, but we have a selection of local wildlife that I'm currently in talks to acquire that I want to create a more integrated natural area for. This pond area being the beginning. I'm using stone to create my own rustic walls, which is tougher than I expected because most of the stones are slightly too large. It forces me to use many of the small ones over and over again. I really like the end result, and once I add some of the moss, I think it gives a really nice old feel. Like this wall's been here longer than the zoo and we've just integrated it somehow. It also breaks up the standard wooden farm fences nicely. I'm finding that I'm craving doing more creative things the more I build the farm barns and paddocks. I'm sure there are creative ways to approach them, but not really in the style or layout that I have in mind. That's one of the downsides of having a structured plan for a zoo. Can take some of the spontaneity out of it, but I'm keeping those ideas in my back pocket for the future. My next zoo will hopefully be in Africa or Asia, somewhere warm and diverse so I can really explore the things I'm thinking up. At the time of recording this, the new animal pack has just been released, with the honey badger and the, what's it called? Nilgai? I think that's right, and then we've got raccoon dogs. And of course, these will be added to projects in this series, but they'll need to be added to, somewhere appropriate. Can't just throw them into the farm. I've just recently been out to visit a local wildlife centre called All Things Wild in Evesham. If you want to see some of the animals there, I've been posting some to my Vidara VKG Instagram, linked on my channel page. I made that partly to accompany the channel and post little teasers or upcoming videos or projects. Also to just, add photos of cool things that are relevant to the channel and the content that we have here. Anyway, All Things Wild. It's a nice, modest wildlife centre with a selection of animals. Some, like our zoo, they're fairly common for the UK, farm species like goats and pigs and donkeys. And turkeys, actually. But they also have some exotic species, like the... how do I pronounce this? Rhea? Greater Rhea? Rhea? I'm going to say Rhea because it sounds nicer. We've got red ruffed lemurs, which are critically endangered. If you've played Planet Zoo, you'll know that they're critically endangered. Which is surprising because I seem to see red ruffed lemurs in most zoos in the UK. We've got Chapman zebra, dwarf mongooses, mongooses? I'm pretty sure it's mongooses. If you're in the area, I recommend going. It's a good family day out, or if you're you're like me and you just want to take pictures of animals, still just as good. Although I went on a very hot day and was suffering a bit by the end. There are a few wildlife places in my neck of the woods actually. You've got Longley, the Cotswold Wildlife Park, Bristol Zoo Project, which is where I want to go next actually, to see the bears and the wolves out in the woods. There's a lot to see for an animal lover like me. Ooh, I wish that didn't rhyme. When it comes to hard shelter for the swans, I don't believe they would actually need it in real life. I'm fully basing that on the fact that I've walked over a bridge and seen a nest just down by the side of a river or down by the side of a canal. That being said, it's a game requirement, so I put something together which it's not my finest work, I'll be the first to admit. It kind of almost looks like the template structures that they have in the base game, which, yeah, is okay. I'm fine with it. It's kind of like a swan sandwich, just two wooden boards where the swan sleeps between them. And I've done my best, or you hopefully will see, I've done my best to hide it with rocks and bushes. If you can't make something look nice, cover it with scenery. My favourite enclosure so far has got to be the badger one, clearly. It's the only one that I've really designed, like the whole thing, rather than just being a pen for a farm animal. It's an actual thought out environment. But this swan enclosure's got to be a close second. It's not a particularly difficult environment. The walls are a bit, took a lot of pieces, but once you have the basic wall piece, you can then copy it over, so it's not too much of an issue. The plants help set it off. It looks like a really peaceful, natural environment. That being said, I've filmed a few episodes ahead that I still have to do a lot of work on, but there are elements in some of them that I really like. Like, the enclosure might be a square pen, say, just hinting at the possibility of one of the future episodes being a square pen. But the enclosure might be straightforward, but there are elements I'm trying to add that have that extra bit of intention, realism, a bit more interesting. I'm going to try and highlight those a bit better in future videos, because I don't know if I've done a great job of painting a picture in these videos. I'm still trying to improve how I approach them. And I find my style, you know what I mean? There's also enclosures that I think are really nice and well designed. Particularly the wild area, the one that we're starting with this swan pond. When we expand on this a bit, which is episode 10, I think. Yeah, I've got a few ahead. Episode 10 is when we'll expand into the wild area, and that episode is one of my favourite because it's still a simple area. There's not a lot of undulation to the land. You'll see the details of what I put into it, but it's just a very nice scenic enclosure, not without its issues. Anyway, that's probably enough promoting of future videos. I think I've actually run out of things to say, so what I'm going to do is I will now stop talking and try and think of what I need to say in the next video, because I've now started filming or recording a second series for a different game, which may or may not come out. I'm not sure yet. I'm still working on if that's going to be good enough quality. But having two series running side by side when I'm someone who struggles to speak in the first place, it's going to be a bit of a challenge just to get these videos made in the first place. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you continue to enjoy the video, and stay on the lookout for new projects on the horizon. because they are maybe coming, hopefully, possibly. Check out the Instagram as well, because I will post updates and future projects on there before they come out on the YouTube channel. Subscribe if you want to see more, because there's definitely more things coming, even if not every series. And yeah, now I've officially run out of things to say, so please enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you again next time.